In this video, we'll talk about how Mark Cuban became so rich. Cuban is worth $4.3 billion. That's an awful lot of moolah, and we're wondering how someone can make that much money. Maybe you can learn from this billionaire who seems to have his feet planted flat on Mother Earth. Enjoy the video. Mark Cuban's story. Mark Cuban is an American billionaire, entrepreneur, television personality, and media mogul with a net worth of $4.3 billion, according to Forbes. He was rated number 177 on the Forbes 400 list for 2020. He is the majority owner of the Dallas Mavericks of the National Basketball Association, NBA, as well as co-owner of 2929 Entertainment and the chairman of AXS TV. On the ABC reality television show Shark Tank, he's also one of the key shark investors. Cuban, along with his two younger brothers, Brian and Jeff, grew up in a Jewish middle-class family in Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, where he was born in July 1958 to Russian and Romanian immigrants. Shirley Cuban, his mother, was a stay-at-home mom. Norton Cuban, his father, worked in an auto upholstery shop. Cuban shared his Genesis tale in a 2014 interview with Bloomberg's Masters in Business podcast. He asked his father for money when he was 12 years old so that he could buy a pair of fancy shoes. His father's remarks stayed with him for the rest of his life. Those shoes on your feet appear to be doing a good job. You want a new pair of sneakers? You'll need to have a job before going out and buying them. Cuban, on the other hand, could barely keep a job before he became famous. According to a 2017 CNBC article, he revealed on an episode of Shark Tank that I had to quit or been dismissed from 3 straight jobs. While Cuban has a good track record of self-made wealth, he was frequently broke in his early 20s. He slept on the floor of an apartment with 6 other people, returned home to find his lights turned off and his credit cards had been cut. He was, however, full of ideas. When workers at the local newspaper company went on strike a few years later, Mark saw another opportunity to make money. He realized that people wanted to be informed about what was going on in the world, so he ordered papers from a company in another city and sold them in his neighborhood until the strike ended. Cuban skipped his senior year of high school and enrolled at the University of Pittsburgh instead. He transferred to Indiana University to study business after a year there. His foray into entrepreneurship continued throughout his collegiate years. Cuban began teaching dance classes on campus for $25 an hour to help pay for his tuition. He and his friends then began renting space from a nearby bar to host disco parties. They eventually purchased the bar from the proprietor. Cuban earned a bachelor's degree in business administration in 1981. In a 2013 Forbes column, Cuban claimed that after graduating from Indiana University, he proceeded to work for Mellon Bank in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he converted paper procedures to a computer system. Despite having no prior experience, Cuban began his education by securing a sales job at a computer company, Your Business Software. In a 2007 blog post, he noted, "I was afraid because I had never worked with an IBM PC in my life. I'd bring home a different software manual every night and read it. The reading, of course, was enthralling. ACC Pack, Peachtree, PFC, DBase, Lotus, I couldn't put them down. I would read some every night once I got home, no matter how late it was. I'd also spent time learning how to install, configure, and run the software on the store's computers. People began to believe I was an expert, becoming stupid wealthy." As Cuban told Men's Health in an interview published September 1st, "The best investment I ever made was investing in myself, first and foremost." Before that, Cuban had returned to his hometown of Pittsburgh, armed with his degree from one of the country's finest undergraduate business schools. He began his career in the real world with a job in banking there. He and his buddies relocated to Dallas, Texas, in quest for a more satisfying life, owing to their student debt and dissatisfaction with life in their tiny hamlet. Cuban wrote in a 2004 blog post on his early days in the Lone Star State, "I recall being 24 years old and living in a 3-bedroom apartment with 5 other friends in Dallas. I didn't have a room of my own, so depending on when I arrived, I slept on the couch or on the floor. I didn't have a closet. Instead, I had a stack that everyone knew belonged to me. My car, a 1977 Fiat X19 that burnt a quart of oil per week that I couldn't afford, had the standard hole in the floorboard." Cuban ultimately found work selling computer software. He was fired, though, within a year after starting the Post. Unemployment pushed him to establish a new business. This time it was Micro Solutions, a software business that was fiercely competing with his prior job. After amassing an enviable client list, Cuban opted to sell the company in 1990 for $6 million and retired retire early. Cuban's retirement was only temporary. Around 1995, he began to feel restless. As a result, he began to look into several options for starting a new firm. Christopher Jibe approached Cuban in the hopes of getting him to invest in his business venture. It was primarily a streaming service for various sporting events. Cuban was ready to become a part of the initiative within minutes of hearing the pitch, according to Jeb. He put $10,000 into the company, which was then known as AudioNet, and co-founded it with Todd Wagler, an Indiana University alumnus. In 1998, Cuban and Wagner bought out most of Jibe's part of the company and rebranded it Broadcast.com. The company's first public offering, IPO, was a complete success the same year. The day Broadcast.com went public, several of his employees became millionaires. Both Cuban and Wagner have amassed fortunes in the billions of dollars. Yahoo bought Broadcast for $5.7 billion just 9 months after going public. Since the sale, Cuban has made a number of investments in a variety of industries. The Dallas Mavericks basketball team was purchased for $280 million by Cuban in 2000. The sports franchise is now worth $2.4 billion, according to Forbes. Cuban also owns the theater chain Landmark Theaters, the private chat service Cyberdust, and the 3 Commas fashion firm, inspired by the fact that there are 3 commas in $1 billion. Cuban is best recognized for his work as a shark on the popular reality TV show Shark Tank. Since joining the show in 2012, he's invested just under $20 million in more than 80 small businesses. Mark also teamed together with a group of other investors to launch Fireside, a new social media network. The platform, which is similar to Clubhouse but has a recording capability, will debut in 2021. Let's look at a few of his business ventures. Shark Tank. Since season 2 of ABC's reality show Shark Tank in 2011, Cuban has been a shark investor. As of May 2015, he had spent a total of $19.9 million in 85 deals across 111 Shark Tank episodes. Because the investment happens after the handshake contract on live television, when due diligence is undertaken to guarantee the accuracy of the material presented in the pitch room, the real amounts differ. For example, after negotiating a $1.25 million deal with Cuban for 100% of the company, Hycon, a manufacturer of removable fire hoses, did not complete the transaction. 1031 Productions, Rugged Maniac Obstacle Race, and Beatbox Beverages are Cuban's top 3 investments, each worth at least $1 million. Shark Tank's ratings have risen since Cuban joined the show in 2011, and the show's also won 3 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Structured Reality Program during his tenure, from 2014 to 2016. With a net worth of $4.1 billion, Cuban was the second richest shark after Richard Branson, who had a net worth of $5.1 billion. Magnolia Pictures. Magnolia Pictures, a film distributor, is owned by Cuban. He financed Redacted, a fictitious dramatization based on the Mamunia killings of 2006, written and directed by Brian De Palma through Magnolia. Cuban, as the owner of Magnolia Pictures, erased terrible images from the Redacted's final moments in September 2007, citing copyrights permissions concerns. In 2007, Cuban was also rumored to be interested in producing a Magnolia edition of the film Loose Change, which promotes a 9/11 conspiracy theory and has Charlie Sheen as the narrator. According to Cuban, who spoke to the New York Post, we're talking about broadcasting the existing footage with Charlie as a narrator rather than creating a new feature. We're also searching for productions that take a different approach. We enjoy debating controversial topics, but we are unconcerned about whose side of the debate is on. If we don't get the price and premium we desire, we're delighted to continue to make money from the properties, Cuban said in April 2011 when he put Magnolia Pictures and Landmark Theaters up for sale. Cuban is an example of a billionaire who was captivated by the world of entrepreneurship since he was a child. Cuban has had a lot of businesses since he was 12 years old. He had already developed and sold a multi-million-dollar technological company by the age of 32. The majority of his multi-billion-dollar income came 9 years later during the infamous dot-com bubble. What do you think of Mark Cuban? Do you like his influence on the Dallas Mavericks? Do you like his business style?